All right, so good evening, everybody. I believe I'm very much audible. So just give your response here if everything is all right. Okay, so that means screen and voice both. All right, so that we can start the session soon. Right, we don't have any quiz today. We all have that is session. All right. Okay, so yes, it is audible. Okay, so Siddharth, Riya, I got Manan. Okay, wonderful. So let me revise whatever we have done in the last few sessions. So we are basically talking about shell scripting, right? So I'm revising things again. So you know what? We started with understanding of the next kernel and that we have some hardware. Okay, so this is a kind of your hardware, and on top of that we are running this kernel. We all know the next kernel is supporting two different flavors, even more, but we are talking about these two. We selected Red Hat Package Management and decided to go with Fedora based OS. So now Fedora is our name of operating system, and we have seen the most important thing. There is no difference between command and GUI. The both are working or using code in backend, right? Then we can interact with Linux by using a software called terminal, and to interact with we need to log in with users. There are two kind of users as of now. We have seen non-root user and root user, right? So non-root and root user. Then after this we have seen what exactly shell is all about. So we are working on specifically bash shell. After exploring some features, now we are here in scripting, right? So basically you are going to learn about scripting options, how we can create script. So I got some question how to supply option to our command, the self-created command, simply by $1. Okay, so already given by Abhijit, right? Very simple. So scripting, and we are going to learn more about scripting like bash. So we have seen very basic functionality, then user inputs and some conditional statements. Okay, so that conditional statement we have seen in if and else form. Now we move to the new topic in the shell, that is input output redirection, and that IO redirection. Okay, so we discussed about all these terms. Okay, so simply in IO redirection we have seen these options like this and this. Okay, also and. So we have seen maximum things about output redirection, and that you can revise the last session. That will be fine for everybody. Okay, now what we are going to do today, so we'll talk more about IO redirection. Okay, but before that, what are the different things in output redirection we are going to talk about. So today we are having system 1 and system 2. 1 and 2. Okay, and we will be giving some input to this system. I mean, let's say I'm giving input to this system like a date, then the output will be sent to that terminal, or both. I can give input to this system and the command will be executing here. So simply how we can send a request to a remote system. In the word of ethical or non-ethical hacking, we call it RCE, right? That's stand for remote code execution. So remote code execution. So simply remote code execution means we are sending input from this first system and we are sending, and the output we are expecting in the another system. But to make this communication happen, we need something called networking space. So if this is system 1 and this is system 2, how they can communicate to each other? So we need to establish some communication channel. So definitely we will be having IP address. As of now we are using IPv4. We have a very amazing and big session about IPv6 and IPv4 in future, and here we also having IPv4, and both the systems are connected to my Wi-Fi device. Okay, so this is my Fedora system and this is my Ubuntu machine, right? And they both are connected basically. So in short, let me just check the connectivity of this system. So I'm going to my Fedora box right here, okay, and I'm logging. Let's say user root password double space double space. You can hack it from your own place if you want. All right. Now after just logging into this Fedora machine, I would like to check the connectivity between these two. So this is very interesting topic, and maybe a couple of questions will be there in the examination. Okay, so regarding examination, I believe you might have some idea, but this Sunday we are conducting this exam, and I'm just opening terminal here, and this my terminal is having IP address. So let me check. I'm just first removing this cal command. Alright, ifconfig is the command we can check IP address. So my IP address to this system is this. Okay, and can I connect to Google? Definitely I can. So by using ping or any other command you can check the connectivity. Okay, so this is my Fedora box. This is my Ubuntu machine. Ubuntu and Fedora both are connected to Wi-Fi. So my IP address of Ubuntu machine is 192.168.1.14. See, so I'm able to communicate in between the system by 192.168.1.14. So they both are connected. In short, so I can just give a request to this machine and we are receiving the response. Response means yes, we are receiving 64-byte response from this machine. Okay, so the first requirement to send output or data from one machine to another machine is this networking. Okay, by using this method you can also create your command line based CMD based chat system or chat. So I'm having this and this system. Okay, so first requirement is done, that is IPv4. Okay, and they all are connected. Second thing is, if you want to send or receive data between the system, we need to use any of the two protocol like TCP and UDP. बस मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आपको ये नाम जरूर पता होंगे, बाकी किसी भी चीज़ की कोई रिक्वायरमेंट है नहीं, और वो भी हमें समझना भी नहीं TCP क्या है UDP क्या है. बट होपफुली यू ऑल आर at least having this name in your mind, TCP or UDP. So we are going to use both the way how we can send data from this machine to this machine by using any of the protocol. Okay? So if you want to send data or receive data from one machine to another, you need to understand the concept of socket first. Okay? We have a big session again in the section of networking what exactly socket is. But about this socket information, we will be having IP address and port number. So this combination we are calling as a socket. So we have IP address here and we have another IP address here. Alright, both the IP address. So if we want to send some data from one machine to another, we need to make any machine as a sender and another one where we want to send the data as a receiver. So always a receiver end will start the socket, this one, and sender will connect that socket. So the point is, make sure you are understanding the same. So let me design this diagram again. So here this is your sender and on the target system receiver. Socket is required. So socket either TCP type or UDP type will be here. And what is socket? It's a combination of your IP and port. So this system will be working as sender and this will be working as receiver. So from here to this. Okay, so if I want to send some output here, definitely I need to manage the communication channel between them. So what I need to do, or I need to set up something we call communication channel, right? So hopefully communication channel आप समझ रहे होंगे. Communication channel का मतलब है जिसके थ्रू आप यहाँ से वहाँ डेटा भेज सकते हैं. ओके, सो ये सारी रिक्वायरमेंट अगर आपको अभी समझ में आ रही है तो जस्ट से यस इन द चैट विंडो. एक कंफर्मेशन जरूरी है बिफोर जंपिंग इनटू द प्रैक्टिकल कि रिसीवर के पास कुछ सॉकेट जैसा कुछ होता है. आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग कि अब आप नाम से काम चलाओ अभी. This is not the right time to discuss about. Okay, so you're sending this data to the target machine and उसके बदले में ऐसा कुछ हमें मिलेगा. ठीक है, वंडरफुल. वैसे मेरा पर्सनली मानना है कि हमें सॉकेट और प्रोटोकॉल्स के बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा पता नहीं है. थोड़ा बहुत होगा कि वो एक बहुत ही अलग कहानी है, पर हमें बस इतना पता होना चाहिए कि ये ऐसे चलेगा. ओके, नाउ तो either we can write our own program in Python, Java, C, or how we can open a socket in Linux. So there is a utility, we are calling it netcat. Okay, this is a utility that can be used to create socket or IP port. Okay, so let me connect my Ubuntu machine. So this is my Fedora This is my Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is here. Okay. So we are using private IP, any kind of IP. So netcat is a utility that can be used for creating this. So what I'm doing is basically I'm going to use my Fedora system to connect Ubuntu machine first. अब आपके लिए क्या है, आपको दोनों स्क्रीन यहाँ पे दिखनी चाहिए, अदरवाइज आपको थोड़ा सा बिलीव नहीं होगा. सो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू इज आई एम गोइंग टू सर्च फॉर रिमोट समथिंग. तो मैं एक सॉफ्टवेयर यूज़ कर देता हूँ फिडोरा में, एंड लेट मी कनेक्ट टू माई Ubuntu machine. So I am already using this option. So 1.14:5900. I'm not using full screen machine, so I'm trying to connect it. So hopefully ये चलना चाहिए. पासवर्ड जो भी है, remember authenticate. Wow. So now I have my Ubuntu machine here. Fine. तो इसे मैं साइड में रख देता हूँ. So this is my Ubuntu system जहाँ पे IP क्या है, ये है. सिंपल अभी इसको ऐसे करके रख देता हूँ कि this is my Ubuntu machine जो मेरे दूसरे सिस्टम पे कहीं लैपटॉप पे चल रहा है, and this is my Fedora. So by using any of the software like remote or the way you want, you can access it. ठीक है. तो now what I want to do, let's say if I'm running date command or cal command, I want to send output of this one to this machine. Okay, so simply I want to send output of this cal command to the target machine. Okay, अब ये करने के लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए, netcat facility यूज़ करेंगे Ubuntu साइड पे. So I'm going to open. थोड़ा सा वाईफाई पे है तो स्लो हो सकता है. What the hell? No, please. Okay, मैं काम करता हूँ, मैं Ubuntu वाले लैपटॉप पे जाके और यहाँ पे खुद ही ओपन कर देता हूँ. ठीक है, तो ये ऑलराइट. ठीक है, सो मैंने ओपन कर दिया. वाईफाई है, स्लो होगा. आई होप टाइपिंग मस्ट बी ऑल ओके. ठीक है, सो दिस इज माई अनदर मशीन, एंड if I want to open netcat port, so the command that you can use is nc. ठीक है, ये ऑलरेडी इंस्टॉल्ड है. अगर आपके सिस्टम पे इंस्टॉल नहीं है तो यू कैन इंस्टॉल इट. nc and -l. L stand for listen, and then the port number, let's say double it. Make sure you're using some port number that is not being used by your system. मतलब ये सब कुछ फ्री है. अब क्या है कि आपके सिस्टम पे ये, जस्ट अ मिनट गाइस, 1 सेकेंड का टाइम चाहिए बस. हेलो, अरे स्टेशन में हूँ, बताओ जल्दी. स्टेशन में. अरे नहीं यार, बताओ जल्दी. आधे 1 घंटे आता. Okay, welcome back. So now nc-l means I am opening a port number on this particular system. तो ये यहाँ से मैंने चला दिया. Okay, now this is my Fedora system, as you know, my Fedora OS 32. Okay, if I want to connect from this machine to that system, so how do I connect? पहले एक जनरल चैटिंग कर देते हैं. So let's say NC 192.168.1.14, that is the IP address of this machine, and the port number 8888, right? And I'm hitting enter. See, it got connected. I don't know it is or not, but let's say if I'm sending message like hey, wow, received, right? Like hi, how are you doing, right? And if I reply back, I think I'm fine, right? And if I just check back here, okay, that means by default this netcat facility you can use to chat in between systems. So for example, अगर आप अपने कॉलेज की लैब में हैं तो टीचर बात करने नहीं दे रहे हैं तो आप उन्हें थोड़ा सा मैनिपुलेट कर सकते हैं, right? So by using this netcat facility you can connect one system or maybe multiple system by using this chat section. Okay, so what kind of socket is opened here? So by default, if you are using NC command, it is having kind of TCP. Okay, by default it's a TCP port. So what I'm going to do, if from my client machine I'm using Control C, तो ये भी बंद हो जाएगा. Okay, now client connection is controlling. So if you don't want an interruption, what you can do, -K. इसका मतलब क्या है? Client cannot interrupt server. So if I use this, okay, fine. Okay, so I can simply use Control C. It is not going to terminate that one, right? But talking about the sending output of a command. So for example, if I'm using cal, okay, what I'll do now, I'll use pipeline. Okay, I'll use pipeline, and that pipeline is going to store output of cal command here, and then it will be sending to this. So if I hit enter right here, see, so I can use this like who am I root. Okay, again, so now every time it is creating a new connection, echo hello world, right? So this is the first method, very simple even, where I'm running my input here and I'm sending my output through this socket to this machine. Okay,